we'll get us started. I'll kick us off here. I just want to welcome everyone who is on the call here. Thank you so much for joining. We are really excited about this webinar. So as you know, we're Backpack EMR. Binary Bridge is our company name. Backpack EMR is our product. And this webinar is Reach Donors in Your Sleep, an automated way to expand your fundraising. And we are partnering with Spave so we can show you how their tool can help you with fundraising, which is pretty cool. So if we go to the next slide, I'll give you a really quick intro to Backpack EMR. I just want to spend 1 minute. So Backpack EMR is primarily portable electronic medical records. So we do that digital health data in really the most remote areas. So that's kind of our key product. But then we're also expanding to include a virtual pool of doctors so that anyone using our system can then send a chart into a specialist from the United States if they want someone to look at maybe cardiology or dermatology, oncology, any of those things. And then additionally, we're partnering with Survey CTO, so we can offer monitoring and an evaluation now too. So if you want to do some like public health surveys or population surveys before you start working in a community or during and after you're working in that community, then that way you can also sort of learn your impact. What are you actually accomplishing? Are you changing things in the community? So just wanted to let you know those are our 3 things. Thank you for the next slide. So this is a really quick view of our virtual care. So we do all of our patient intake. You can do that offline. So local partners can do any of that intake offline, especially those healthcare workers going into the communities. And then they can send a notification to a doctor in the United States to have them sign on our web portal. So all those doctors can get secure access to look at those patient charts so that they can then review remotely. So that is how it works. We know that there's not consistent internet everywhere, so we don't do the video chat. You can certainly do that separately if you do have access, but that's not part of our system. So that is a very quick overview. I wanted to do that fast so everyone knew where we were. We've kind of been changing things a little bit here at Backpack EMR. And before I move on to Susan, I just want to do really quick housekeeping on the webinar piece. So if you could, if everyone wants to be muted while Susan's talking, we'll keep everyone muted so we can hear her and get a clear recording. You can keep your video off too, is fine. It's just going to focus on the speaker when we do the recording anyway. And then you can ask questions in the chat. So we'll have Sai on our team. We'll be monitoring the chat. And so ask any questions there. I think at the end too, you can always unmute as well and ask live too. But if you want to start putting your questions in the chat, that'd be great. And then as I said originally, we'll be recording this. So no need to take intense notes. We'll have you covered. So that's just the really quick intro. So then I would love to turn over to Susan. So Susan and I met while we were participating in 2017, which is a long time ago at this point, at the Minnesota Cup. So we were both semifinalists. She struck me right away as someone who I connected very easily with. She has worked a lot in nonprofits. She has a very caring personality. We clicked right away. And so I was really excited to get to know her, and I love her company. So you'll see why as she gives you her presentation. And I thought it fits so well with all of our partners using Backpack EMR or looking to use Backpack EMR. So I'm really excited for you to meet her. So Susan's going to give us the 411 on her background so she can give you more information and what inspired her to start this company, Live, Give, Save, and then build this product Spave. So I'll turn it over to you, Susan.
Oh, Lori, thank you so much. And it really is an honor to be a part of your webinar series and just to see your journey. I'm so proud of you and what you've done and how you've grown with your business. So thanks again for this opportunity. Yeah, so my background, founder and CEO of the company Live, Give, Save, and then our product is Spave. So I'm a wife, a stepmom of 2 millennial kids. I'm a daughter of aging parents, so kind of that sandwich generation. I've got 2 older brothers. I'm a godmother, and I've had 5 sponsored kids, and I've met 4 of them in their country. So that was pretty cool. My background, my professional background, I have 30 years in banking, marketing, and philanthropy, and I've traveled to 33 developing countries on 4 continents. Very passionate about the work that is being done by Backpack EMR for sure, and see all the value that it brings to these countries that need it. It was there in my time in traveling in 1995 when I traveled to Africa, when I met women that were living in abject poverty. They were micro entrepreneurs, but yet they were repaying their micro loans at a 99% repayment rate. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. There's got to be something to that. What is that magic? And the more I learned about it, the more I thought, that's something that we could use here in the United States. I was managing the largest credit card portfolio at the time for First Bank. Now it's US Bank. And we were seeing, a surge in spending and really a dearth in savings. And I thought there's got to be a way that we can use the principles of micropayments to help people better save and give more to their to the causes that they care about. So that's how it got started. So here's just a little portfolio of the places that I've worked. As I said, I worked at US Bank and Periscope, a marketing company, and then started my own marketing company, Mosaic Marketing, now Mosaic Mindshare. And then World Vision, it was my travels with World Vision that really opened up my mind to the world in looking at it in such a different way and my part of it. I also worked for an organization, Questscope, that worked in the Middle East. And then Treehouse, many of you may or may not know that in Minneapolis, it's working with at-risk youth. And then Partners in Food Solutions was an international nonprofit that was birthed out of General Mills. And so it was really my work internationally that has my heart and has my passion. So I'm excited to be here today. But that really is what helped me develop the idea of SPAVE, which stands for Sharing Purpose and Value Every Day. So what is it? Many of these apps or companies you probably know of. So there's Mint that rounds up spare change and puts it into a mutual fund. Or that's Acorns, rounds up spare change and puts it into a mutual fund. Mint is a budgeting app. And then there's Digit that has an algorithm that looks at your money coming in and going out of your checking account, and they determine how much you can put into your savings. And then all of us know what the United Way is, and Venmo is a payment processing or payments to peer-to-peer payments company. All of these apps do one thing, and they do them very, very well, but they only do one thing. Spave, as you can see here, does all of it. It really brings it all together so that you can link all of your bank accounts from various banks into your app, into one single app. You can select the causes that touch your heart from our database of more than 1.5 million accredited charities. You can search and find them through different ways, through your passions, through trending, and through Spave Faves. And then you can set your goals for savings, what you want to save for, whether it's a vacation or you want to travel internationally. You can set your goals that way. And then you determine your saving method, whether it's rounding up spare change like Acorns, or we have a unique way of allowing you to apply a percent to each purchase that you make. Think of it like tipping or taxing yourself, but better. And those micro amounts then are taken out of your checking account and then moved to your charity or to your savings account or all of the above. And then we have a new module that we're introducing into our next release, which is called Insights. And that allows you to look at visually where your spending is going by categories, et cetera. So this is a look at our new user interface and what it looks like. So who are we targeting? So there's a 3.5 million smartphone owners that are in the world today. But while we have global ambitions, we're focusing our efforts on the 70 million millennials that contributed $32 billion to charity in 2017. Very generous. And then we're also looking at scaling our business through relationships with community banks and credit unions, 104 million members strong. So it's a big market opportunity out there. So we did a controlled beta test here in Red Wing, and this is when all things come together. When you have a company like Red Wing Shoe that wants to connect its employees to things that are happening in the community. And so they said to their employees that were testing with us, what nonprofit do you want to work with? And they chose the YMCA. And then we worked with the credit union also to see what their customers thought about this type of app and what that would do for them. And what happened was these testers raised money for the Y, and then Red Wing Shoe matched those dollars. So we sent a group of kids to summer camp that wouldn't have had that opportunity before. And what we saw in that experience was that on average, people set their spavings at 5%. And this was in this test, they only could do the percentage one. We didn't have Roundup at the time. But they chose 5% for saving and 4% for giving, and an average of $73 per month spaving. And we'll get into that a little bit more here. But so now we're looking at, okay, as we roll out this product, who are our best partners? Well, we know that it's nonprofits. And for our scaling and growth, we're looking at national nonprofits with a national footprint and a local presence, but we want to partner with any nonprofit to help us get SPAVE into as many hands as possible. So we're also looking for nonprofits that are actively seeking new technologies to better engage this new generation of donors that give very differently. They don't write checks, they don't attend galas. They learn about nonprofits from their friends, and they use their phone and their mobile device to do everything. We also are looking for nonprofits that have an interest in learning and growing and sharing their knowledge and their experience in a community of like-minded and like-hearted leaders, being part of our community and our tribe. And also those with the ability and the willingness to actively promote SPAVE to their donors and volunteers and their board members. So you can see here some of the organizations that we have, but one in particular, Healing Hands of Joy, for example, is out of North Carolina. They support women in Ethiopia, women suffering with fistulas. So it doesn't matter the size of the organization or what your reach is. You just have to be a US chartered and based nonprofit, but you can reach across the globe. So who benefits from SPAVE? Everybody does. So here's an example. This shows you of the flow, and that'll show you how it all works and who benefits. So this is the consumer right here. And let's say that consumer spent $1,800 on gas, groceries, that I gotta have latte over the month. And then Plaid is an aggregator. It's a third party that we work with that scrapes the data every night. They work with Acorns and Robinhood and Mint and all these different apps to look at the data. And then they share that data with us on our app users. And we look at that and we say, okay, in your app, you selected 5% for giving and 5% for savings. Now we go then and go to your checking account and we take those micro amounts out. And so that's a total of 10%. You can see here would be $180 if you spent $1,800 over the month. $180 would come out of your checking account. And then Dwolla, another third party of ours, would take that and they would distribute it according to what you asked for. So there was 5% went to savings, that's $90, and 5% goes to your charity of choice. But here's our business model. This is a donor advised fund. And so those dollars go through the donor advised fund, which is like a nonprofit itself, but they allow us to provide you, the donor, 100% tax deduction. And they pay us a 6.5% fee for enabling this secure transaction to take place. And then another 3.5% fee to that database of 1.5 million accredited charities. And then they distribute the funds to those charities for us. 90% or $81 of that 1,800 goes to that charity. And this could be you right here. So we'll get into that a little bit more, but that's how it all works. And you can see how everybody wins in this scenario. So let's look at that a little bit different. So here's where you spent in a month, $550 on groceries and eating out and beverages and gas and miscellaneous for that total of $1,800. Let's say you spaved 10% like we showed on that last example, that'd be $180 over the month. And annually, if you annualize that, that would be $2,160. If it was only 5% for giving, it'd be $90. You can do the math, but that's kind of how it looks in as that example. But let's look at it one more time. So a donor generates, that's easy math, $100 in donations over a month. Live Give Save, SPAVE, our company Live Give Save, transfers that $100 to the donor advised fund. That donor advised fund distributes those funds to accordingly. $90 goes to the donor selected nonprofit, $6.50 goes to Live Give Save, and $3.50 goes to our strategic partner for enabling that access to those 1.5 million accredited charities. We are going to take this piece of this business right here, this 3.5 or $3.50, 3.5%. We're building that. We had to buy that through a third party as a startup until we could build it ourselves. So then eventually that 3.5% will go away. So donations are transferred weekly into an FDIC insured non-interest bearing account, a donor advised fund, okay? Those donations are dispersed monthly via a check currently So the nonprofit, the nonprofit would receive a check, which is a little archaic, but it's free to us. So this, as a startup, this is how it works. And then the donors would receive that 100% tax write-off, and they would get a detailed tax receipt at the end of each year. So benefits for the nonprofits, no overhead, zero overhead. You pay nothing for this. New revenue stream that comes from a new generation of donors using new technology, and you're gaining new knowledge of these donors' interests and how they behave. You will get access to aggregated individual donor data on their giving with their permission. We believe the donor controls and should control access to their information. And then you'll be able to leverage and extend this new knowledge to other marketing initiatives. So what did you learn as a part of SPAVE you can take and share and extend into your other marketing? And then new communications channels. You'll be able to give personalized messages or custom messages to your donors in the app. You know, because of you, another kid went to summer camp. Because of you, water came to another community. Because of you, somebody got access to medical support that they wouldn't have had. And you're also offering a value add to your donor base. You're not just using this tool so that you can raise more money for your nonprofit. You're giving a tool to these donors that can help them help themselves in saving better and help others. So it's really a win-win-win again for all. So for the donor, it's free to them. It's a free app. They can view all their bank accounts in one place. They can track and analyze their spending across multiple bank accounts. They can track their charitable giving, all their charitable giving in one place. They can set savings and giving goals. They can receive those in-app messages on the impact of their nonprofits. We know how important that is. We've done a lot of research in that, and getting those messages, reinforcing that behavior is vital. And then you're creating a community of family and friends to increase overall impact of the causes that you care about together. And you're really helping them make their own world of difference. So back to how do we get paid? So I just want to reinforce this. We heard, it's really important so people know exactly how this works. So that Donor Advised Fund, again, reimburses our company 6.5% for building and maintaining a safe and secure technology ecosystem and for creating a fun and rewarding user experience. The Donor Advised Fund pays 3.5% to our strategic partner who manages the nonprofit database. And as we said, that's going to go away hopefully soon. So as you all know very, very well, it takes money to raise money. Here's an example from the Center of Philanthropy in Indiana, from the Indiana University. So on the right here, you see the average cost of fundraising for special events. For every dollar, it's 47 to 50 cents. For direct mail, 20 to 22 cents. And for major gifts, it's 10 to 18 cents. And for us, and that's all overhead dollars. For us, it's not overhead, but you aren't getting 100%, but it's 6.5 cents. So it's good for all. Nonprofits can offer their donors a secure, relevant technology without spending any precious resources and that overhead that we all want to protect. No credit card fees, no costly technology development or maintenance expense, little to no staff time to add content to existing communications channels. We've got a SPAVE kit that you'll see here in a bit on what does that look like for your donors and how you can communicate to them through your existing communications channels with email, with newsletters, with website, and with social channels. We make it as turnkey as possible for the resource-strapped nonprofits to accelerate and amplify their mission by enhancing the donor engagement and the donor experience. So the SPAVE kit, that's what we're going to look at. Whoops. I'm going to stop sharing for a second here so that I can pull that up and make sure I have that right here. And now I will share again.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to chime in. This is one of my favorite parts. I love it when there's already marketing materials prepared. This is fantastic.
Lord. Oh, Lori, that's right. I'm plowing through this, aren't I? Way too fast.
Oh, it's great. You're doing great. This is perfect.
So we've got banner ads for, can you see this now?
Yep.
Okay. Banner ads for social media for your website. We've got a brochure that you can put your own logo on. It has all that great information, posters that you can post if you wanted to in your locations, print ads, you just download them and then you can add your logos to them. And here's the social media posts. And this is just going to get bigger and better as we go along. And we want to listen to you. What are the needs that you have? What kind of communications tools would work for you, and help develop those for you? So we want to be a part of your marketing communications arm, so that we can help you better communicate in ways that are just beyond the toolkit as well. So how are we doing on time? 3:25, almost.
We're looking good. This is pretty good.
All right. So we plan on releasing our SPAVE 2.0 in the App Store and Google Play by May 31st. We'll have a new user interface, looks very different from our previous app. We have a new platform. We changed who we were using to develop the baseline platform from Xamarin to React Native. We have a new aggregator. We were using Yodlee and we switched to Plaid. We have this new insights model that allows people to analyze their spending, which we've heard that they would love to do. We're still working and tweaking that. That's been the most difficult module to include. And then our giving module, we added passions, we added roundup, spare change, and then the minimum weekly spavings option. So you can have a minimum that you want to reach every week. So let's say you set it to $20. You want to make sure you do $20, but you only had $10 that week. It could automatically go up to $20 because you want to reach your goals. And then we have a safe and secure integration. It's, bank level security. We just had a penetration test that we did last week, and we passed with flying colors. We have lots of testimonials from people. These 3 women are all from Red Wing and worked with us through our beta test and then also our MVP. And they all are either millennials or early Xers. But here on the right-hand side, you'll see Emily Fu. She's the executive director of Red Wing Art. She said, for nonprofits, it's often difficult to work on development. For small nonprofits, especially, having a partner in the fundraising and donation world means everything to us. I don't have that internally. SPAVE takes some of the struggle off of me. And we know it. I mean, I have a background working with nonprofits, as you saw. It is such a struggle. You're resource strapped all the time. You never have enough money, enough time, or enough people to do these things. We understand that. We get that. We want to come alongside you to help you do better. So we just conducted some really cool research with Fusion Hill. And we wanted to just share some of that with you to see if it resonates with you. And the beginning that we did with the research, we did it like 6 years ago, and it's really been reinforced again this last few months when we did it. And we found that people said, I just need better control of my finances. But as far as an app, show me that you know me and make me trust you. I know what I want and I want it now. Don't make me work for it. And I want to know that I'm making a difference. We also learned that few mention giving as part of their financial priority. They don't see it as part of and they don't see it as part of their full financial mix. So that was really interesting to us. And we think that this is an opportunity for us to say, wait a minute, your giving comes out of your income as well. You have one set of income and you spend it accordingly, and you also give it away. So how can we help them see that as a part of their full financial picture? And all of the kind of the philosophies revolve around balance. Everybody talked about creating balance in their lives. They love to spend, they like to do different things, but they feel a little bit constrained. How can we help them find more balance? And then there's a consideration set that they have when they determine where to give. And this wasn't surprising necessarily, but they want us to help them by helping vet organizations. And if we provide organizations in our app and we say that these are good organizations, that's what they should be. So that's great for us and great for you, showing that we have endorsed the organization. So some of the key factors aren't going to be surprising to you: aligned with their interests and values and causes, personal connection to the organization. It's an easy process. They can see the impact of those donations. So those messages coming back to them is really important. Transparency on how the funds are used, aligned with a current event or a crisis, that they're tax deductible, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see here. Also, non-monetary giving also feels impactful. We all know that. Giving them an opportunity to be hands-on is really, really important. Sometimes it isn't just like where they're going to be volunteering at an event, but it could be providing content, telling a story. Those things are really important for all of us in the nonprofit world. We need to have those stories come to life. So allowing them to be able to contribute in ways that might not be that might not be monetarily by giving a donation, but eventually they will when they can, especially if they can do it through Spave, which is just micro amounts at a time, but it adds up. So this is the end. This is the last thing that I thought Luke was kind of cool. I think a giving centric app would be really cool if, in the same way that I can go on Robinhood and find whatever stock I want to buy, if I could find all the charities to give to, that would be great, especially if they had information, statistics about how the money actually goes, where the money actually goes, and towards the cause, etc. So that was it. Now I can stop right here, or we can go into the demo, and Clay DeVries, our Chief Product Officer, can show you what the app looks like, etc. What would you like to do, Lori?
Well, we haven't seen any questions in the chat yet, so I think we can jump right into the demo, and then after that we can always ask for more questions again later. So yeah, let's see it.
Great. All right, Clay, take it away. So Clay's been at this now for, I don't know, a year, well over a year, pulling this together, and pretty proud of it.
Year and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what you're seeing, I hope you're seeing, is the Spave home dashboard.
Yeah.
The components of the dashboard and of Spave in general are giving, saving, and spending. We keep track of each of those things very carefully, and each element of Spave has its own dashboard. So on the home dashboard, users see the sum of everything that they're doing, giving, saving, and spending for various periods of time. So in the month of May, I haven't had any transactions yet, for instance, so there's no spending. You'll also see this, I should caveat this is beta, and we're still working on some of the things with the Insights module. So there are some duplications of things that might show up from time to time in the spending category. I bought some real estate and sold some things, so I don't normally spend this much money. But anyway, that's what
I want to be Clay.
Yeah. All of them went to groceries. So you see the total giving, saving, spending for those periods of times. Then under giving, you see the charities that I'm currently supporting and how much I've given to them so far. I just started giving to Crescent Cove, and I'm rounding up my purchases for them. Safe Hands Animal Rescue, I'm currently giving 1% to. And then I have some savings goals, a gift goal and a just saving goal. One of them has an amount and a time frame. The other one just has a time frame. Then the Spave faves are always included at the bottom of the home dashboard and the giving dashboard. And Susan's talked a little bit about who the Spave faves are and how we work with them. But this access from the dashboard gives the Spave faves a lot of visibility. And if I want to donate to one of them, I can do that directly from this dashboard. I tap on it and I get the option to make a one-time donation or to begin spaving to the charity on a regular basis. And if I do that, then I have the option to either round up or add a percentage to my purchases. If I add a percentage, we suggest 5, but that number, of course, is up to the user what they would like to do. So now I've begun saving to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. You'll also see on the home dashboard that there's this little floating icon in the lower right-hand corner. That's our Spave Now button, which again is a quick, easy way for people to make donations, either to charities or to contribute funds to their savings. So if they choose to do a one-time donation, the charities that they're already giving to come up first. If they want to do a one-time contribution to savings, then it shows the savings goals that they've already put money towards or are putting money towards. And they can select one and select an amount. Say they want to put $50 and contribute that. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can. And then if they want to get more detail on what they're doing with each of these charities, the giving dashboard, for instance, shows giving over periods of time, again, various months, various periods of time, and shows who I'm currently spaving to. It also includes a record of people I might have given to previously and charities that I've made one-time donations to. If I want some more detail on, say, the Safe Hands Animal Rescue, by tapping on that, I get a list of all the transactions over the period of time that had spavings applied to them. You can see those are all roundup amounts that are in there that I'm looking at right now. Like maybe you can see that, it might be too small on the screen, but those amounts are rounded up to the nearest whole dollar. And if I decide I want to change how I'm spading to them or stop spading, I can do that. I can change to roundup, I can change to percentage. It's all very accessible, very easy, very simple, clean. Um, the savings module works very similarly. The dashboard shows all my savings over a period of time, shows the goals that I'm currently contributing to, the ones that I've contributed to previously, and any one-time contributions I've made to those goals, with the same sort of access to the transactional information. Again, in this instance, you can see that this was on a percentage basis. So everything is 1% or 2% or whatever the number might be that I was spading at that time. Again, I've changed my numbers over time because we're testing. So you might not see the exact same kind of roundups or percentages applied to every transaction. And then finally, in terms of understanding where I'm at with my spending and how giving and saving fits into that, we have this insights module. So insights provides an analysis of money that's come in and gone out. And Susan, you don't want to be me because apparently I don't have any deposits.
Oh, no.
So yeah.
Well, I like that you're saving for an anniversary gift.
Money's just going to, yeah, well, you know, I got my
You're a good
priorities.
husband.
I got my priorities straight. Yeah, and then it shows my giving and saving relative to my spending for each of those months. If I look at my spending analysis, I see a little donut chart that shows 55% of my spending went to transfers. And this is one of those things I was talking about with the duplication of data. Transferring money in and out is being treated somewhat similar to, say, writing a check or making a purchase. So as I mentioned, I bought some real estate, so I'm getting double billed for my real estate here. But again, the services, shopping, taxes, where the money went, and if I tap on any of those, nope, that one didn't work. I'll go to the transactions. I should be able to see the transactions in that category that had savings applied and the spending amounts as well. And if I want to change something, if I want to really analyze my spending, I can go into each transaction and for instance, this Amazon purchase comes up as shopping digital purchase. Well, if I know that that was actually a gift, I could change the category here and I could change it for this one transaction or change it globally so that all purchases from that merchant would go into that category. In addition, we show where you made your most frequent purchases and how much money you spent with various merchants. This again is something that's a little buggy. It's supposed to show frequent purchases as a number of purchases rather than a dollar amount, but that'll be worked out by the time we get into the store. And then finally, there's all the kind of tools that you would expect to be able to manage your accounts to show which checking accounts, savings accounts, credit cards, investment accounts you may have linked. You can manage that, add more or take away from those in this dashboard under the profile. Spave balance account is a type of savings vehicle for people who don't have a savings account, which is a lot of millennials, or for people who just want to keep their money someplace other than a bank savings account. We give them the opportunity to keep track of their savings goal by goal. I don't have anything in my balance right now, but you'll see that's because I've put money in and taken it out. So all of my transfers and transactions that have to do with that anniversary gift, for instance, show up here and it shows the status, whether they're pending or whether they've completed or failed for some reason. I'm going to look at just the deposits, just the withdrawals. So I have a complete history of how I'm doing against my savings goal. Transfers and transactions give me a global look at all of my transactions and what was given or saved through savings against each one. You'll quite often see zeros because I have maximum limits set. So Susan mentioned the minimum amount. When I set up my savings for giving or saving, I can say that I want to save at least $10 a week, but I don't feel comfortable saving more than 25, for instance. And so then when that spading calculation gets to 25, it stops spading for that week so that people know that they're not suddenly going to, they're not going to make some kind of mistake and suddenly see that there's a $1,000 savings applied or something, because they had some giant purchase that went through and they're taking 10% of it.
Clay, you also had mentioned one time when we were talking about this, and I neglected to mention it, which again, obviously, was about the categories that aren't included. Sometimes that's where the zeros are at too. So
Sorry, I didn't follow
like
it.
your mortgage payment is,
Oh, sure. Yeah, good point. Yeah. So Susan, in the diagram that she showed, mentioned that this was non-discretionary spending. So there are a number of categories that might come up, and I don't know if I have one in here because I don't have a mortgage payment in here anyplace, but variety of utilities, mortgage payments, donations that I make to other charities aren't spaved on for donations again, for instance. So some of these zeros, like Excel Energy is a utility payment, Village of Siren is a utility payment. So those wouldn't get spaved on normally anyway. Good point, Susan. And then again, transfers, Susan mentioned this happens weekly. So I can go in and look and see, what transfers have been made towards giving, the places that I'm donating money, or I can see the status of transfers into my savings account. And you can see, I hope you can see, that it not only tells me how much it was when it was initiated, but what checking account the funds were taken from and where they went to, whether they went to, in this instance, this first anniversary gift went to my money market savings account, but down below you see that one for vehicle went to that spave balance account. And I've been switching back and forth again because we're testing. Most people wouldn't probably do both, but they certainly could if they wanted to. If they wanted to put some of their savings into a joint savings account they have that maybe they routinely put money into on a regular basis with their spouse or significant other, and maybe they want to keep a little separate accounting for the anniversary gift over in the spave balance account, so nobody knows what's going on there.
for sure. We have a question in the chat about from Meg at I forgot, it was the Hope for Haiti, I think, about sinking funds. And I'm not sure I know what sinking funds are. Meg, can you explain?
Yeah, hi everyone. Meg from Hope for Haiti. What you were just talking about, where you saw like the savings accounts. So your sinking fund for, basically it's like you have individual, you have a sinking fund for Christmas gifts, a sinking fund for charity, a sinking fund for expected expenses.
Sure.
And that's kind of what that reminded me of. And I thought that's really neat because if you want to donate 8% of your salary to a charity, you set up your sinking fund for that year for $200, and that's going to tell you when you get there. So I just thought that was it's a good tool for that type of thinking, because charity should be everyone's sinking fund. They should have a sinking fund for charity. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool, Meg. Thanks for explaining that. I appreciate it.
Sure.
So since you mentioned Hope for Haiti, I just thought maybe it'd be a good time to show how you add a charity.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of them in there. So if I know the EIN number, that's very helpful because it displays or what city they happen
We're
to be
in Naples, Florida.
No.
Yep, I saw that in there earlier. Keep going down. Keep going down. It's down there.
There are a lot of people with Hope for Haiti.
There's a lot of Hope for Haiti. Yeah. There's us.
There it is.
Naples, Florida.
Yep.
Okay, so I choose that. Where did it go?
A little further. There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
And it gives me a little information about Hope for Haiti, a mission statement and EIN and what category. And that category is an IRS generally category that comes from whenever you filed your first 990 probably.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I can make a one-time donation or I can spave to the charity. And if I choose to spave, you can say, I want to round up my purchases, or I want to add 5% or whatever that number is. And then when I go to my giving dashboard, you'll see that I can also then set these minimums and maximum amounts each week. And I say, I've just added another charity. I want to be more generous. So let's make sure I give at least $20 a week. And but I don't want to give more than 40. So I save those changes, and now that gets applied to my new selections.
That's great.
I used to use it would go to church every Sunday, I would sit in my pew and I spaved, the one-time donation. We call it Spave Now. Every Sunday, because then all of my charity and all my church stuff is in one place and categorized as such.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that Spave Now icon gives you the ability to make that donation. So if Hope for Haiti is where I wanted to give it. Let's see, let me go back here. Make a one-time donation, put in the amount. I'll actually put in an amount. This is the one place where it leaves the app. Apple requires that actual transactions have to be conducted outside of the app. So I would do that here, just to make sure that I have the right amount before I commit to it.
Good.
And if I confirm that, Hope for Haiti is going to get $20.
Oh, Clay.
Thank you.
You're very
We
welcome.
appreciate that.
For
That's the
joining.
least I could do. Anybody else?
Yes. Oh,
That is awesome. I have one question as long as we're here. And Susan, you can let me know if this is the right time to chat about this, but
let's do it.
there's a difference between the Spave Faves and then searching for a general nonprofit that you know of. And so as long as we've got the demo here, can you just kind of show sort of how much more visible the Spave Faves are?
Well, they're visible here at the bottom of the giving dashboard. And they're also on the home dashboard. The same list of charities. One thing that is not included in this release of what I'm showing you, but Susan mentioned as she was talking about, is this trending idea. And at some point we will have a trending category or a section kind of like Spave Faves that might include, for instance, things that we believe are in people's minds. Disaster relief, for instance. If there's a hurricane, we might include something under trending to support hurricane relief or California wildfire relief. We might also have categories of types of giving or types of organizations that we want to bring to the fore of people's mind. It might not be Spave Faves, but Susan and I were talking this morning. She said, well, medical missions could be one of those. And, it could be something like Spave Faves. And when you tap on it, instead of seeing Big Brothers Big Sisters information, you get a list of the charities that we've already vetted that are in medical missions that we would like to promote people giving to. And those curated sections, we haven't fully worked out how they would be curated and how often they'd be updated and changed and how many would be in it and all that sort of thing. But I believe that is high on the priority list for the next release after the one that goes into the App Store at the end of May.
awesome. Thank you, Clay.
Thanks
Very
for the
welcome.
demo. That was great. And I just want to do a quick time check. We've got about 12 minutes. So it might be a good time to just chat about benefits and a little bit more on the Spave Faves, if that works.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
So let's get back into, I'll share now again. Back and forth. Let me know when you can see this.
Yep.
Okay, great. So deliverables from the nonprofit. So being a Spave Fave and the trending, we're still, as Clay said, working this out, but we're looking for, your donors. So we want to have more people use our app, but again, for the benefit of all. We were looking for industry advocacy, helping us to better navigate through the industry and lifting us up within the industry. Active participation in our community through social media campaigns and promotion via traditional and new media. So, providing you with the Spave kit and pushing those communications out. We do the same thing. Rachel Hovde is our communications manager. She helps and monitors all of the Spave Faves and helps promote those throughout our channels of communications. You also would have exposure on our website. your ability to provide relevant, meaningful, timely content to our donors. As Clay was saying, you know, what's trending out there, we want to also be a source of communications that people can't get any other place because of our relationships that we have with you all. And we want to do the same for you. With our blog posts and our social media posts. And then participation in gamification through special offers and rewards. I don't like the term gamification so much, but we're coming up with ideas, and we're looking for our faves and our partners to give us ideas about what they think is relevant out there. So for example, if we had a contest and we said, you know, for every time that you posted something about Spave in social media, or you referred somebody to us, or talked about us, or whatever it was, you would get put into this drawing, and you could have, let's say $10,000, $5,000 for yourself and $5,000 for your charity of choice. What does that look like? And so we want to work with you all on helping to shape and frame and shape that. So what is the deliverable for a fave? Again, trying to say, what could that be? Because what's the value that we're providing? What could we get for that, if you will? Maybe it's 100 active users within a year. Participation in our research. I mean, our faves currently have been interviewed. They've participated in focus groups. They've had part of their donors participate, and then pushing out donor surveys so that we can continue to learn together. Actively promote Spave, commit to 2 testimonials, blog posts per year, and serve as a vocal advocate for news articles and media opportunities. We also want, you know, a rising tide lifts all boats. And so we want to lift that tide and lift you up with us. So as it says here, these are still in development. I don't know, any thoughts on that, Lori?
No, I think that's great. And I just wanted to highlight that because you get a lot of benefit from being a Spave fave. And that's what I wanted to show with that demo is you're out there, like, so you're being promoted to donors who don't even know you yet.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so that's what I love about those Spave faves versus someone having to know your name and go search for you is definitely different. It's just I mean, it's great too, but just a different way to market.
Yep, that direct link. Benefits of being a Spave fave: free access to our dashboard, which we're still working on building that, so you can monitor your donor activities relative to giving, as well as ongoing aggregated data by all of the donors. You'll see the difference between what your donors are doing and what other donors are doing. And again, that's aggregated data, not personal data. Free access to our full research and findings, personal marketing assistance that we talked about before, and consulting, presence in our app, our website, and then our promotional promotions that we put through our social media, and then also mention in any kind of public appearances. We're going to be at trade shows, so we'll talk all about So at this point, I'd love to introduce our newest member of our team, Megan Schutzel-Firth. She just joined us a little over a week ago, as our Chief Partnership Officer. And so you want to connect with her. You can see her email here. It also will come out in our email follow-up with this, but she will connect you up, hook you up with a toolkit, and then you know, figure out how we can work best together with you. And then once you get people spaving to you, you would receive a check monthly. Eventually, we'll hopefully do the ACH processing and make it more modern. Hello. But you would get a check, which is kind of fun, having a little piece of paper. But in the near future, then you'd automatically be able to set up your nonprofit, and you'd be able to work in that dashboard yourself and put those personalized messages in yourself. Right now, it's going to be manual and work with us, as far as I know. And then, yeah, I think I said all of that. And then this is our team, our marketing team. So you know me, now you know Megan, and then we have Brianna Pica. She's our Vice President of Marketing, and I mentioned Rachel Hovde as our communications manager. We're here with open arms and open hearts. We can't wait to engage with you and help you do more good, better in the world. And thank you for what you do. It's awesome. So this is kind of where we're at with our next steps. Who can participate? Anybody, contact Megan or me or Brianna or Rachel. And then how can you help? Share the good news about Spave and connect us through social channels. If you'd like to provide support or for testing, that would be awesome too. You can reach out to Brianna. And if you would like to receive early access to our app, you can get that through, I believe, our website. And you can contact Brianna. Is that correct, Brianna? That they can get it through? Where can they get the early access? Just by contacting you?
Yes, correct. for now.
Thanks. All right, here we are at the Q&A.
Yeah, and I was just going to say too, we will send out these email addresses, just like Susan said, in the email or in an email back to you after this, along with the recording. So you'll have those. But yeah, nice job, Susan. Thank you so much for the whole presentation. I saw that we had one question. Another question from Meg was about, can donors connect their crypto accounts to this app? We have a growing number of crypto partnerships, and I love the Robinhood comparison. So this could be attractive to those donors.
Yeah, definitely. We're not at crypto. That's in our definitely in our roadmap for us, but we aren't there yet. But you can spave to Robinhood, you can spave to Acorns, you can spave to all. We would just want to create this environment, this ecosystem that allows people to use micro amounts, right? Based on their spending. I'm spending on myself, but I want to save for my future. I want to give to somebody in need. And you can do it little by little, a little becomes a lot. And you might want to spave to, for your goddaughter, you might want to spave for your, for a friend or a family member. I mean, it doesn't have to be, it can be anything that you want eventually. That's the idea behind this.
I love it. Thanks for the question, Meg. And I have one quick question. And these are great questions that we've got listed here, but I know we don't have a ton of time. I wanted to make sure that you touched a little bit more on the data. So we didn't talk as much. So in the demo, we talked a lot about the donor experience and, the users, but from a nonprofit perspective, if nonprofits are sort of marketing this to their donors, what sort of data will they have access to? What's that experience like?
Yeah, I don't. Clay, do you want to take that one? You're probably better equipped. I mean, it's the basic information on what their name and their address, their phone number, their email, and how much that they have been giving to. And I'll let you take it, Clay.
Well, yeah, you touched on all the high points. So we can look at information, not only what charities they've been giving to, but past charities as well as one-time contributions. We can look at those by category. So in aggregate, we can look at whether donors in general are giving more or less money to animal-related charities, for instance, than they were last year, or if every time that there's a disaster that comes up, if people start giving more to disaster relief, even before we have our trending causes in there. And as Susan mentioned earlier, it's really up to the donor, the individual, to determine what information gets shared or doesn't get shared. But potentially, the information that they could share would include, phone numbers, contact information, whether they want to be contacted directly by charities that they're supporting, or whether they want to receive information about new charities that might be available that match their interests. And I think that's, down the road, that's, most people would say, no, I don't want to get marketing messages as a general principle. But if I'm committed to trying to give to a particular cause, to see that, for instance, let's say SPAVE as a trending category for social justice. And if periodically they say, hey, there's a new effort to reduce cash bail or eliminate cash bail, or we want to do something with Black Lives Matter, then to get something in my app or to get a text message that alerts me to something new that SPAVE offers there, I would find pretty attractive to say that, I'd like to see what these vetted organizations are, or these vetted causes are that I might want to give to. And in doing that, perhaps if I've already shared my information, then you're also going to potentially see what other social justice causes I might be giving to, or what other civil rights organizations I might be giving to. I just think that, individual donor information is meaningful. And I think that if you're doing one-to-one targeted marketing, you can certainly use that information to make your communications to prospective donors much more effective. But I really think the beauty is in the aggregate data, to see large numbers of people and to see trends and to see whether people are giving more or giving less as the economy gets better or worse. I just, that the data is, it's not as important as the direct contribution, but it's right up there close in my mind.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're all about data here at Backpack EMR too. So that's what's so exciting for us too. And some of the things that I was thinking about too, just in what you're tracking is if you can see overall that the donors that are donating to you also shop at a certain place or give to these other types of organizations, it might help you with some of your marketing to them or how you communicate with them. So a lot of that sort of big data just seems so helpful. But yeah, were there any other questions from our participants? I want to give you some time. We're just about at our time, but if you've got some questions.
Now you can see Megan too.
Yeah.
Wait, Megan.
I'm here.
Great. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity, Lori. It's awesome. I
Yes.
love it. Great
Thank you.
work by all of you.
Thank you, you as well. Thank you for joining us, Susan. I'm really excited about what you're doing. And we really wanted to get in front of everyone who knows Backpack EMR. I think the cause and the way that this donor kind of marketing works, I think it would be a great partnership. So for anyone out there who is interested in SPAVE, we will send out some more contact information, but we would love for you to join and get involved. So